Hello, friends. The sun shines on the righteous, by which I mean the very bright laptop light shines on the righteous, ahead of our Kingsland finale tomorrow in this KVK3. I wouldn't say much drama or anything. There's been some trash talking, but let's go into what I think will happen, how things are going, and of course, I'll show you my account. Of course I do. Anyway, let me get right into it. Before we start, however, let me begin by thanking my main man. It should be your main man as well, Mr. Eins Algau. And Eins supported the channel today with a membership, bought everyone he saw a membership. Eins, the man I wish I was, but I'm not. I'm my own man. And this man is going to A, thank you, and B, talk about what's going to happen tomorrow. So, Kingsland opening tomorrow. Our allies, 03 and us, are, well, I'll take it back. We're confident insofar as we've beaten 94 every rune so far. I thought they got a little bit better towards the end, but it was pretty convincing. I think 3 beats 16 every single runes. And if we go by the logic that Kingsland is decided by runes victories, you'd think, yeah, brilliant, we're going to sort of smash this. However, should we go over here, it becomes apparent it's not quite so clear. 08 are enemies, are sworn enemies, I think, I don't care. And 07 have battled hard every runes, and if I remember correctly, which I do, 08 has come out on top every time, and a similar story between 90 and 20. A quick look at the Alliance ranking so we can see how everyone ranks. In power, it's us, just ahead of 94, who are a big distance ahead of 90, who themselves are ahead of 16. Then 8, so we're number 1, and our 4 enemies are 2 till 5, and then we have 7, 3, and 20. Bit of a shout out to 20. I would say, being in an A seed KVK, for the second time in a row, they're pretty much the weakest kingdom in it. It's so incredibly unfair for them. I've been in that position many times. I've seen them fight. They fight pretty damn well. They're a pretty good kingdom, in my opinion, but they have got so screwed over by the matchmaking. Like, expecting a 6.4 million alliance to take on, billion, sorry, to take on here is harsh. So a big shout out to 20. I hope they can dig in there tomorrow, but it's tough for them. I'm not saying they're terrible or anything like that. I genuinely just feel sorry for a kingdom that's put in a matchmaking bracket just above where it should be, because you get stuff like this and it's just not that fun. Anyway, then again, 3 looks the same, but 3 have been smashing 16 every single runes. They have been, well, they've been far and away the most impressive kingdom I've seen in this KVK. I've been impressed with 8 as well, to be honest. Aside from that, we've done as expected. 94 is slightly below where I expect them to be. Haven't seen much of 90. Well, 16's lost to 3 each time. 7, I don't know much about them. I know they've lost to 8 each time, and 20, as we've said, but shout out to 3 and a lesser shout out to 8. They have been crushing it every time. So, what's going to happen? Well, we're quite clearly the number 1 kingdom in the KVK, so you'd imagine the most important thing for the enemy is to come and smash us up as quickly as possible. It looks like that's their plan. So this is 90, who are always beating 20, so from the look of it, they're relatively confident they're going to be able to do 20 quickly and then come over here and help 16, who usually lose to 3, help them turn the tide and go up against us. So I presume, in fact, I'm going to take a leaf out of Jay's book, who I thought did a really nice video on this, and do some shading. Just 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourselves. All right, I'm back. Stop talking amongst yourselves. Listen to me, please. Are you listening? Fingers on lips, etc. So this is how I imagine it will transpire tomorrow. And before I do this, remember, I am excellent at editing and art, so don't feel overawed if this is a little bit techie, what I'm going to show you here. So this is how I imagine things will play out. So 90 here, and this is, I presume, their plan and their desired plan of action. I could be wrong. 90 go and lock out 20 as soon as possible, and then come over here and help 16 battle against 3, hopefully win the 2v1 from their point of view, and then come further up and give us a bit of a smashing. From the other side, 08, who have beaten 07 every time, will be presumably confident of doing exactly the same tomorrow, so they go down there, and at the same time come over here and help 94 against us. I presume there's not, I don't know, you don't know how things change in Kingsland, but I presume we'll go quite quickly over here and try and lock them up. So the idea from their point of view would be 90 and 08, quickly win their fights, come over and smash us. So were that to be the case, the map would look something very similar to this. Wait for it. In the words of Barney Stinson, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Something like this. Like I said, I'm good at arts. It's my kind of thing. So you'll see this. You'll be like, what does this mean? It's using 8D art. I'll try and explain it. So their logic would be, understandably, that purple being 90, come and take out this zone. Yellow being 8, come and take out this zone. Red being 16, have the help from 90 on the field to take out 3. And then we're left as the one bastion of our side, with the logic being that if everyone else is locked and it's just us, we probably can't win a 4v1. I mean, we'd fight, but we probably can't win a 4v1. So I think that is what they're planning to do. And if I'm completely honest, obviously, I'm a partisan member of this. I think that's the only real shot they have of winning. And it's a very viable plan. Just lock everyone out as quickly as possible and then come to us and try and smash us down. However, allow me to return to my original diagram, which takes a while. If 90 are coming over here, and if 08 are coming down here, but also sending a second strand over to the left to try and encroach into our zone of control, well, then it stands to reason that 07 and 20, who are by no means lame duck kingdoms, they are strong in their own right, perhaps not as strong as the kingdoms they've been fighting against, but there's certainly no pushovers. So if a portion of the efforts of 08 and 90 is diverted over here, well, things could look very different indeed. In fact, I have to make a diagram now, they could look a lot like this. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Dairy. It's a bit of a How I Met Your Mother joke. So so if they push too much to the left, we could see 08 struggling to hold on to the fight against 07, who gets some territory there. 20 doing the same against 90, and 3 doing the same here. The one factor I haven't really, well, the one outcome I haven't really considered is the following. Something like this, where 94 do better than they've shown so far, and instead of it would take a brave man to think they're going to beat us. I don't think that, false modesty aside. But they could. They've got some excellent garrisons. We know Big Frog Boy and Big Mad Achilles are fantastic garrisons. If they can keep some modicum of field support and save and really protect those garrisons from being field controlled out of there, they could keep this territory and then just go right. And then you would fancy 94 against 7 and or 20. They haven't been as strong as us, but that's not to say they're not strong in and of themselves, and they would do well there. So the other option I suppose we could see is us have this territory, 94 defend well, so they prevent themselves from getting zone locked there and build to the right. And the fifth and final scenario we could see looks like this. Stay with me, stay with me. Like I said, it's not too likely, but you never know with these things. It's important to consider all eventualities. The scenario where a giant crab descends onto the Great Ziggurat and really prevents any fighting from happening. That would really stop 07's attempt to take on 08, and we would not be able to really go and help the Allies again because of the giant crab. It's unlikely, but all these scenarios are possible. So what have we learned from this? Not much, to be brutally honest. I would say I've titled this Predictions for KVK, and I think my main one is, so which I hope the pictures, perhaps the last one aside, have helped illustrate, is that we are probably marginal favourites, maybe slightly more than marginal favourites, but our enemy's best chance is 08 and 90 locking out their enemies quite quickly and just coming along to beat us up. But in doing so, they leave themselves open to losing territory against kingdoms they've shown they can beat, because they're extending on too many sides. I think most other scenarios would probably have our side winning, but it's an interesting dynamic with the left side being stronger than the north and the south, and the rights and the north and the south there being stronger than the right side. So effectively, we look like we own the left side in theory, and they look like they own the right side on theory. So the idea from them will be to lock us out as soon as possible. If they can 4v1 us, I have no doubt we'll lose. I think if we prevent a 4v1, if 7, 20 can hold their territory, and if 3 can fight alongside us, and if no giant crustaceans come and descend upon the ziggurat itself, I think we've got every chance of pulling out a victory. If I'm honest, the bit I'm most excited about is when we get to go through these little passes and start the zone invasion, even if we lose. Getting them coming through our zone invasion, there's a lot of fighting that day. Kingsland, it doesn't last very long. We've got, I don't know, you've got like 4 or 5 hours of Kingsland. It's the smallest Kingsland in the game. It really, really doesn't last long. It's kind of, there's like a failed love life. A lot of hype, over quickly, followed by tears from a loser. Okay, I enjoyed that. Right, well, that's my predictions over. I think numerically probably 60-40, maybe 61.6 against 38.4, but I don't want to give it too specific an example. Well, we know what you've come for. We've come to see Greg's account. Not much has happened. We've just been fighting. We're now up to a princely 169 mil kills. Would be more if there were more fights and if I was better. We're going to end up on about 8 million severely wounded, I imagine. We're not going to be able to push too far above that. The other stuff, I've upgraded Huo a little bit. He's now sporting the heavy armor of the Hellish Wasteland, which I didn't crit. Umming and ahhing about what to do next. I thought about getting a Yuche, but let's go for the plan. Let's get Zhuge Liang. We don't need to get the gloves just yet, even though we can make them maybe safe for the ring. We'll see what we get from future egg events. Maybe we get lucky. I've got easily enough gems to push to BIP 14 tomorrow, which I might do because of the nice little bonus you get. Like the unit capacity bonus, an extra, well, it'd be more than 10,000 troops, wouldn't it be? I don't know, 15,000? Yeah, it'd be 15,000 once I use the 50% expansion. Will be quite good. And I'm still going to have plenty for more than gems, so I'm considering doing that tomorrow. But I must say, I am looking forward to the excitement, albeit brief excitement, of Kingsland. Be interested in what other people think will happen. Like, I'm always sit on the fence because I'm British, is what we do. But as I said, I do think we're favourites, so I think the smart money will be on our coalition winning. But there is certainly a scenario where that doesn't happen. If our enemies can lock our allies out quickly enough, we're strong, but we can't take on 4 at 1. No chance. Nobody can take on 4 individuals at once. I've seen some videos where that happens, and you know, it's a messy ending for everyone. Anyway, with that out of the way, this has been a very pun-laden video. I've been very proud of myself for it. We shall see what happens. I have a drinking game lined up. Here we go. Cheers in advance. The idea being Kingsland starts at 4 o'clock UTC, which is 5 my time, which in my mind is definitely late enough to start on the hard stuff. We've got this a grid of 16. Once I see that thing in Lost Kingdom chat, anything from there, we tick it off, take a big drink. That was a small drink. But once we get that, we take it off, and if we get a line, down it. If we get full house, down the bottle. Anyone in the stream contributing to it, I'm going to veto that. But it'll be fun. I'll obviously be streaming it with a delay. Not that I'm particularly bothered, but I guess out of fairness to everyone else, I have a little delay. Just to make sure our plans aren't being laid bare. Right, that's that for me. Next video will either be me being triumphantly smug, saying we won Kingsland, or me saying, yeah, but Kingsland don't matter. It's all about KVK 4. This was, Farmville KVK, rubbish. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, until then, I salute you all, my friends, especially Eins Algowan. Be more like Eins. Support me. Be a member. Come and say hi to me. Do all these wonderful things just like Eins. See you next time.